Hello there everyone, I hope you're having an awesome day. Recently, I reread the Plagueis novel and I rediscovered some very interesting information about Anakin's conception. Anakin's conception has always been a wild and unique phenomenon. Well, until recently, but whatever. Anakin was the result of a vergence in the Force. This vergence in the Force would create the Chosen One to restore balance to the Force. The novel introduced us to an interesting twist. Anakin's creation may have been Darth Plagueis' fault. How is this possible? Well, in the year 42 BBY, about 10 years before the Phantom Menace, Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious succeeded in willing the Force to shift and tip to the dark side. Here's what the novel says. The shift had been the outcome of months of intense meditation, during which Plagueis and Sidious had sought to challenge the Force for sovereignty and surface the galaxy with the powers of the dark side. So essentially, they tipped the balance of the Force to the dark side. After years of the Sith being presumed extinct, the balance in the Force had been tipped to the light side. However, after Plagueis and Palpatine shifted the balance, this was no longer the case. The balance was shifted towards the dark side, which was their own will, not the Force's. Pretty crazy. It also strengthened the two of them in the Force and allowed Plagueis to manipulate midichlorians and to use them to create life. Now, later on in the novel, Plagueis thinks to himself that there hadn't been any repercussions. The Force hadn't done anything to counteract them. Plagueis took this to mean that the Force had yielded to them and to their power. Now, was this true? Did they in fact shift the Force to the dark side with no consequences? Well, 10 years later, Palpatine learned from Dooku, who's still a Jedi at this point, that Qui-Gon Jinn found a boy on Tatooine who was believed to be a virgin, conceived through the Force. Palpatine was shocked. He wasn't able to sense anything in him when he had been around him on the landing platform. More shocking was Anakin's age, as Anakin would have been conceived near the time Plagueis and Palpatine shifted the balance. Plagueis would later watch Anakin as Anakin, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and the rest of them were leaving to go back to Naboo. He looked at Anakin and tried to suppress the truth from himself. As he watched Anakin, he stretched out with the Force and he saw a vision of things to come. He saw deep space battles, lightsaber duels, and a black cyborg rising up from the table. He knew that Anakin would change the course of history. So we can clearly see that Plagueis and Palpatine believed that Anakin was a result of Plagueis' experiment and manipulation of the Force, a way to restore balance in the Force, a light side being that had the potential to be more powerful than almost any who had come before. But before I end this video, I think it should be noted that just because Plagueis theorized this doesn't necessarily mean that it was true. There's a good chance it's true. We saw Plagueis' reasoning and it makes sense. However, Plagueis, being somewhat narcissistic, could have simply thought that it was his fault. So it's still somewhat of a mystery and a big debate in the Star Wars community to this day. But what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of Plagueis and Palpatine accidentally creating Anakin? Or would you rather have the great experiment that they did have no connection whatsoever? I would love to know your thoughts. Please be respectful in the comment section and I hope you have a wonderful day.